Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is the 8th of May. It is a Wednesday, and the moon is in Taurus. We just had the new moon in Taurus late last night or early this morning, depending on where you live. The new moon in Taurus is a time of planting seeds. Hopefully for stability. That's something Taurus is very dear to Taurus's heart. Of course, it's difficult to find stability, especially since we just had a Uranus Jupiter conjunction in Taurus. And of course, the sun and the moon were close to that. And the sun will be, the moon will be conjoining both Uranus first and then Jupiter, expanding our feelings and emotions around things today. But it is a pretty optimistic time all the same. And but of course, there is always, we always need to sort of pull back a little bit because reality has a way. We have to remember that Saturn is still in Pisces, still sort of working its Saturnian magic, I guess we could say, in the archetype or in the energy of Pisces. And Pisces is about our connectivity, our boundarylessness, the fact that we are part of a greater whole. And there's also the question of dissemination of resources, or fair dissemination of resources that we have to look at. And so these are all issues that are coming up. I guess luckily here in the U.S. Our economy is doing well, so they say to us, and so that's a little bit less of a concern maybe. But I'm always and this is just me perhaps, I'm always question when people say everything is great, if in fact everything is great, and certainly everything is not great for everyone, which is really what the democracy process is supposed to be. Everybody's supposed to have a voice and all of that, and I'm not sure that is necessarily the truth, but that's another story. That's something we're not going to talk about this morning. Just in general, though, this is a pretty positive time, and we do need to take steps towards stabilizing ourselves, whether that be financially or emotionally or physically. Taurus is the earth. Taurus is the physical body. Taurus is our five senses. And it'd be very easy to just sort of go over the edge on that stuff and say everything is wonderful. But of course, as we know, and we learn in Taurus as well, is that everything has a price. And so if you're willing to pay the price, then you can have the thing. But if you're not, you have to be aware of what the price is, right? So we have some lilacs coming up. Now these are lilacs that are, well, actually on our property now, but they, part of them anyway, started on the neighbor's property, and she put these as a hedge years ago, and they're just sort of taken off, which of course, what's wrong with a hedge of lilacs? Nothing, right? Even the birds think so. So this is a beautiful time of the year. This is when everything is growing in these phantasmagorical proportions. Looks like I'm going to have to mow soon. Yay! But we'll see. All right, guys. Well, I don't want to... let's see. What do I want to say? The moon actually does shift later today into Gemini. And so that Gemini moon will open the lines of communication. So we may hear a lot of communications. The new moon in Taurus, actually, we had I don't want to get too much into politics, but we did have Stormy Daniels yesterday at the Trump trial, talking about the past. We learned a little bit more about her and her life story, and how smart and accomplished she became in what was available to her, considering her situation and her life. So she's a good example of how you can make, I guess, lemonade out of lemons, and in a way, in stark contrast to Trump, which is somebody who's entitled, can piss away all their advantages and bring us to the brink. Now, I don't want to pick on Trump necessarily here, but there is a stark contrast, isn't there? And isn't it true that in most of history, those of us, and I say those of us, I'm talking about women perhaps, or people who don't have all the benefits of wealth and power, still manage to succeed. And I think it's a good lesson for us. But wouldn't it be nice if there was more opportunity and she could have taken her, whatever she decided to do with her life, into something maybe a little bit more socially, relevant. She wanted to be a vet, right? But anyway, so that's. I don't want to talk too much about Stormy. I like her though. I like her, and we really have changed quite a bit. Here is the beautiful dogwood. Now it's starting to bloom. This is like an absolutely gorgeous tree, and when it's really in full bloom, it's like you're in a whole nother universe when you stand under it, which of course I love. But yeah, spring is here, guys. Spring is springing and sprunging, and it's a perfect time for this energy of this new moon. What are you growing? What are you nurturing? And that is the question to ask yourself as you move through your day. What seeds are you watering? And perhaps now that we're more connected than ever, we can have more of an influence. All right, everyone, have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. If you haven't seen it, Ona and I did a Moon Shadows episode on my channel, New Moon in Taurus. It's about 40 minutes long, but it's a good conversation. We talk about a lot of things. It's very enjoyable. I always enjoy myself in those situations. So if you want to join in the fun, you can check that out. I do have a astrology of the week from the 1st to the 11th. So we're still in that astrology of the week video. And I talk about the major astrological points happening in that first 11 days of May. So you can check that out as well if you haven't already. Otherwise, I will see you and have a wonderful day. Namaste.